Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Your Mental. Just a reminder that this podcast is not meant to be a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. I know they are hard to find, and I get that. I have a bunch of resources on my website if you need them, but I am not your clinician. I am a psychologist, but I am not your psychologist. So if you need any specific help, please look for the help of a licensed mental health professional. Learn all you can learn from the podcast. Enjoy the episode. Yeah, even your ability to pull out, and I guess it's like the improv thing. I was talking to, oh my gosh, I know you love her too, Francesca Ramsey. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I love the way you do hosting. When she's like, oh, if I would have done it this way, I want to host better. And she was like, you need to improv. And I'm like, right. Oh, no. I know I seem chill, but I would have a heart attack.
Doing
and the
improv?
way you're able to even
totally do improv.
Pull stuff out of people's because if people said that to me, I would have been like, well, just F me, huh? Well, you just, I can't pull that out how you so seamlessly did. Like, I can't do that. And the way you do stuff with improv, and I'm just like, nope, I can't.
Well, sometimes you gotta squint a little bit. You're from, so you're from Philly, but you live in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm from Philly. I live in Nashville. My husband's from here.
Yeah, there's some things about the Southern pleasantry that lends itself to being like, how can I nicely tell you I'm not going to internalize anything you just said? Like, let me find a way to be like, let me find a way to make you feel like I heard you. Maybe I'm just fake. Maybe that's what I'm.
It's not fake. I think there's ways to do it.
But yes. Well, what's difficult sometimes, and let me know if this is how your experience with your family. Mm-hmm. Your parents have been your whole life. They have been the keeper of knowledge. Mm-hmm. They taught you how to tie your shoe. My mother taught me how to read when I was like 4. So it's hard when you get to a point where you're like, on this specific area, I am smarter than her, but she still is my mother. So she wants to feel like she's needed. She wants to feel needed. So I have to do that balance, especially with my family, of not being like, girl, I've outpaced you, but being like, okay, because she always gave notes from the church recital at Christmas to this ballet show. So she always gave me feedback. So now she's like, I'm still going to give you, how our mamas are always like, just call Tyler Perry's office and see if he'll hire you. You're like,
yo, my mom, okay, so this is a mom thing. This is a mom thing. My mom legit, the other day, I was talking about something. We were talking about the TED Talk I did. And I was like, oh, I had to memorize it. And I was like, well, everyone doesn't have to memorize it. And I said, who doesn't? She said, Tracy Ellis Ross had notes. I said, Mom, am I Tracy Ellis Ross? You are me. Mom.
Yes.
Mom. I'm not Tracy Ellis Ross, boo. And that's okay. Come on.
Yeah. They'll be like, you should see if Monique is free and needs some comedians. You're like, what? Thank you. But what are you seeing about what I do that you think is on Monique's level? And let Monique tell it. She's struggling to get her voice heard.
Yeah. Yo, I don't. It's gotta be. Like they believe in us too much.
Yeah. Just sometimes you're like, that's not how that works.
Yo.
But you still. And I'm going to be very terrified and sad the day that Wild's like, I've outpaced you on this thing. So I'm like, just let me feel needed still, because you've needed me my whole life. Yeah. So that's what. So whenever people try to give me feedback like that, I try to see a family member in what they're saying, because that's what a whole comment section is, right? Just tons and tons of people that are commenting on your marriage and your parenting that are maybe not married themselves, that I'm like, you're telling me that I'm a bad parent. You watching me, where your child at? It's so easy to say that, but you're kind of like, people want to feel included in the dialogue,
They want to feel included in the dialogue. Half of it's people who don't have your experience. Some people are just difficult. Some of them are bots that I think people would be surprised to realize with the big accounts how many bots are out there.
Do you deal with a lot of people? I've obviously, you're a creator, so you've definitely dealt with a lot of trolls and stuff, especially because you're
Oh
keeping
my
your mental health
gosh,
about
yes.
Blackness. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, my husband. So Brandon mentioned the other day, because I get asked all the time, "Oh, is your husband going to come on the show?" No, my husband don't do social media. Like, he
Right.
didn't even. So he was like, "Yeah, I googled your name," and I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." He's like, "You know, the first thing that comes up, like the most search thing, it says Raquel Martin's husband."
Yes, because they're like, who is this
Anytime
mystery man?
Anytime I share something about family, are you married? Do you have kids? Oh,
Oh, they love
I
answering
remember
that.
seeing this one thing spoken like a true single mother, and I remember responding like, "Hey, I think this was meant to be an insult, but like being a single mom is not an insult. Imagine attacking the person who stayed. That's weird. You don't think that's weird?"
You know what? I sometimes I go back and forth, right? Because I do see a lot of I see a lot of people giving commentary on things that they are not a part of. Like, I will see podcasts give relationship advice and they're not in relationships. So sometimes I do struggle with that. Like how are you like why are you giving marriage advice? Like, if you've never been in a marriage, like I personally prefer to hear and get marriage advice from people that have, one, been married, and two, that have been married a while. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's also not fair to say, like, if somebody was once married and they got out of a really bad marriage and they're trying to like warn other people or whatever, for the comments to all say like, he probably left you because you da da da. Like, that's not
That's the thing.
productive.
My
Yes.
whole thing is the way at which they share stuff. So it's not even about having that lived experience. It's about like, you're just disparaging.
Yes.
Right? Like, you can talk about this if you're not that wasn't your lived experience. I feel like that's unnecessary, because like, single parent isn't an insult, but and also there's an issue with automatically going to a place of like, you can't say anything about what I stated or the information I provided. You just go to attack like what you think is a personal thing. Like, it's not about the information, it's about, oh well, let me attack you personally. What if I wasn't married?
Right. Oh, they love to do that. I mean, and don't let it be on the internet. It becomes like, I can't even hear this video because it's all that dog hair on your shirt. It's like there's this level of you have to be damn near perfect to record something now, and I'm just kind of like, guess what? Everybody's not putting on a full face of makeup to just record their like random thoughts and musings today, and that's actually why it's relatable.
Yeah, I think that's way more reasonable. But well, thank you so much. So first of all, tell the people where they can find you, because one of the biggest things is Amber she just finished one aspect of her tour, but as y'all heard, her live shows happen. We're looking at probably like every couple of months. So where can they find you so they can stay up on it? I can't wait to see it, because I've never been to a sketch show. I would say actually one that I did go to that I was like, I love how different this is, was Amanda Seals' show. And what you're describing to me is like, it's just like being able to participate. I want to be engaged. Like, I want to listen, but I like the fact that you're incorporating it and you brought in like your whole personality. When you go to her social media, y'all, and you will, prepare to be entertained. Like, there's not 1 second where I'm like, I think a lot of people need to scrub their algorithm and really be aware of like, what am I getting when I look at these pages? Like, sometimes I'll just go to pages and be like, okay, I need a laugh. That's when I go to Amber's page. Like, if you need a laugh, like you actually want to like chuckle, you don't want to feel bad about yourself, you don't want to hear someone say you're not doing enough, you want to be able to just like take in some good content, because I think your stuff is better than half of the stuff that keeps getting funded on these TV shows. If you really just want to like have a moment of like, I need a good laugh, I will go to Amber's page, because there's never a time when I'm not laughing. And even just having a 4-minute video of laughter really can help break up the day, like really can help it. So like, I had a bad moment and I'm not going to turn it into a bad day. Let me just take 10 minutes and like scroll a little bit. I go to your page to laugh. That's when I hit follow, when I'm like, oh, every time I watch her stuff, I laugh. I'm gonna hit follow so I can laugh more. So tell them where they can find you.
Yes, that is 100% the goal. I always tell people, like, I want to make you laugh, and every now and then I want to make you think. And like, so I'm glad that the vision is being, received on the other end of the screen. You can find me. My personal page is BurrIam. So BURR_IAM. And then the podcast that I host with my husband, who the internet has now fallen more in love with than me, I dare say. The podcast is called Fly on the Wallin. My last name is Wallin, so it's like a little fly on the wall. So Fly on the Wallin podcast. Yeah.
And y'all, all of that information is also going to be in the show notes as well. So if you're like, I'm listening to this and then I forgot, then go back to the episode and just scroll into the show notes and you'll have all that tagged as well. I love the podcast. There's no way you're not going to laugh, but I like the fact that you guys are talking about your relationship. And it's, as someone who is married and who also has a toddler, it's some real stuff where you're just like, what's
we like to embarrass ourselves so you don't have to. Like, or we're always like, if you think you're going to get a fairy tale marriage, this is probably the marriage you're going to get. So if you need just like funny, relatable content, like sometimes it'll just be me and Ben, me and the baby, all three of us. So if you just want to just, like you said, just be entertained and feel like a free reality TV show. Yes. Come on down.
Yes. I like that. And I think I also like being able to see like, Ben is a little obsessed with you, and I like seeing a happy couple. I'll be honest with you, and and Wild, like some of the times you show Wild freaking out just because he like walked away, and I'm just like, wow, okay, it's not just me. So I think it's also good. I love being able to see like a happy family dynamic and then also be normal, because sometimes there's just so many and I'm just like, this is not normal, yo, like come on.
Yeah, like gather around the tree, everybody, we're gonna do a little dance, and I'm like, no, we're not. We can barely get like the PJ order, for the Christmas photos. We're not doing that. Even when Ben and I going on dates, we don't even look like we belong with each other. Like past the black and white thing, like sometimes he's gonna wear socks and sandals, I'm not doing that. Like, so we just I hope that people watch what I do and feel more empowered to be a fuller version of themselves. Like, that's what I'm always hoping. Like, I love when people come up to me being like, I got kind of amber nails today. Like, I would never take a risk at my job, but I did. Or I got a haircut today that it made me think of you. Or I've always wanted to try this like bold color. Or, you started taking voice lessons, and so that inspired me to go try this other thing. So I really like that aspect of it. Like, I hope it inspires people to just like take a risk on being kind of a weirdo, because it has paid off for me. Like, everything I was ever bullied for in my life is now making me money now. So that's all I want to, I'm just right. So if you were bullied as a child, whatever it was, even if it's like I was in a wheelchair and that's why I was bullied. Like, make that content, baby. Make about like, how do you keep them wheels clean when you rolling over these hoes? You know what I'm saying? Just turn that into a video, because that's why people love you. You know what I mean?
How do you keep those wheels clean? Yo, like effortless bars. Y'all, we gonna end on that note. I'm gonna be laughing about that all day. So thanks again for coming. Thanks again, y'all, for tuning into the Mind Your Mental podcast. We had.
Keep the wheels clean, y'all. Keep them wheels clean.
I can't even do my outro. We had Amber Wallin here. Y'all, like, for real though, like that's like her stuff all the time. It's just like, did you just make me laugh about obituaries?
And wheelchair wheels. That would be correct. You never thought to yourself, like, how do they keep these clean daily?
So thank you so much for coming on the show. We had Amber Wallin. She has her amazing live show. Subscribe to her and look at all of her pages so that you can stay up on that. She has the Fly on the Wallin podcast. And she also has the live show, Fly on the Wallin podcast, as well as all her social media. It is the same with every single platform, which makes it very easy to remember. TikTok, Instagram, follow her. And yeah, or else you will never laugh again in your life. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Just a reminder that Mind Your Mental is not just a podcast. It is also a amazing community, if I do say so myself. It's phenomenal. I mean, you get more access to me. What more could you want in this life? So if you want to join the community, if you're not already on the community, go to my social media. My social media is the same, Raquel Martin, PhD, and DM me the word community so you can get details on joining this amazing flipping community. You get more access to me, y'all. Like, I'm a delight. All right. Hope to see you there.